Long here. Today I'm very excited to read you a wonderful story about an artist, and we get to go back in time a little bit too. This story is really great. It's called Dream Builder, the story of architect Philip Freeland, and it was written by Kelly Starling Lyons, illustrated by Laura Freeman, and afterward by Philip Freeland. Here we go. I'm going to start right here. Vision. In Philip Freeland's world, art breathes dreams to life. Everywhere he looks around his Philadelphia home, paintings and drawings greet him from the walls. Phil listens to his parents discuss artists at the dinner table. He watches his big sister splatter canvases with creativity. He plays basketball with his buddies and carries a sketchbook around his neighborhood and buildings, roses, people passing on the street. Those are all things that he draws. Phil sees them all and draws clear and strong. Beautiful pictures. You can see some of his wonderful artwork. Okay, I'll put it right here. But at school, what Phil sees is out of focus. Letters on a page don't spring to life as words. His mom, a teacher, tries her best to help him. M-A-M-A-N. What does it say? She asks. Phil lowers his head. His heart sinks. His big brother and sister are great students. His dad is a successful businessman. Why can't he see how to read? Poor Phil. You can see him looking at beautiful artwork right there. Someone in his family shows him a strength he holds inside. His pop. Alan Randall Freeland is an educator and Harlem Renaissance painter. In his studio, Phil sees pastel homes by harbors, fishermen, still wet canvases, and palettes with oily colors that dare him to touch it. See the outdoors. One day, the two of them walk through the woods. Phil darts this way and that until Pop tells him to sit by his side on a log. Close your eyes and listen, Pop says. Phil hears birds crooning and squirrels scampering across crunchy leaves. He smells the fragrance of earth. He feels the breeze dance across his honey skin. Phil is seeing the world with an artist's inner eye. It looks relaxing. Foundation. As Phil grows older, his special sight deepens. His thoughts have color, shape, and form. Math and science fill him up like art. Phil can see strings of numbers and formulas in his mind. Reading takes longer to master. His mom and sister recite Shakespeare for fun, but Phil freezes when called to read aloud in class. He struggles to find joy in books until he realizes that words can create images too. In time, those story portraits show him new worlds just like art. And I like how the word fly is flying out of the book. Arch is making an arch. Cool. We're in his bedroom now. Phil explores different media. He doesn't just draw, he writes essays and poems. He can see the shape of a car inside of a block of balsa wood. He builds using his sense to create. When his father gifts him models after business trips, Phil spreads pieces of battleships and cars, planes out like a puzzle. He doesn't need directions to know where pieces should go. Soon, his paintings, sculptures, and models begin to reflect the times. He carves African masks from bars of ivory soap. Black is beautiful. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. They're not just mottos, they're beliefs that live in him. He's making art based on how he feels. This is a different time period, too. We're going back in time a little. His father's stories are part of him, too. This is all his father's stories. Stories of having to sleep in different Southern hotel than his white colleagues. Stories of being the only Black man in airports except for the porters, people working there. Stories of being mistaken for an athlete instead of a businessman. In his proud Black neighborhood, Phil sees people who never make the news. His neighbors are doctors, suit and tie wearing detectives, teachers, friends, learning to play concert piano. So all different wonderful talents and jobs. Now he's watching the TV. Phil hears a chorus around the nation shouting for justice and equality. When his father is at the march on Washington, Phil watches on TV and feels like he's there with his dad, soaking in Dr. King's dream. The dream speech. And he's getting a little bit older now. At Central High School, Phil signs up for a drafting class. When the teacher asks the students to look at the front of a machine and draw the other three sides, Phil gazes deep inside and can see what's out of view. He becomes the top student in his art drafting classes. He wins industrial design competitions. An idea emerges until it becomes as clear as a snapshot. Phil wants to be an architect, someone who designs buildings, a perfect blend of his strengths in art, math, and science. He's in a library. At Hampton University, a historically Black college, Phil aces every architecture lesson, tutoring classmates who need help. And later, when he attends North Carolina State University, it's a local school of architecture, he soars too. But he wonders why they never study anything created by people that look like him. On his own, he discovers Black architects who designed celebrity homes and a university chapel. He reads about African and Islamic builders his class has left out, so he finds more. He thinks about artists like his pop-up, whose work made unsung people and places scenes. One summer, while Phil was still a student, he takes the lead in designing a solar greenhouse in Virginia. As the structure grows and glistens, a dream begins to take shape. Phil wants to make the world better through what he creates. That's a great idea. I love that. See everything? There we go. Form. As an architect, Phil turns wishes into buildings with doors and windows and plumbing and lights. By the time he he creates his own firm in North Carolina, his mission is clear. He will not design prisons or casinos. Phil creates schools and libraries, bus stations, and museums, places that help people, that show everyday beauty, that celebrate heritage, and fill hearts with joy. A wonderful idea. We've got this one is the Teenley Friendship Neighborhood Library in Washington, D.C. It's gorgeous. Right here, Durham Station, Transportation Center in Durham, North Carolina. Reginald S. Lewis Museum of Maryland, African American History and Culture in Baltimore, Maryland. And then right here, the National Center for Civil and Human Rights in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to go there. These are really beautiful. everybody. Then one day Phil hears about a dream imagined decades before he was born. In 1915, 50 years after the end of the Civil War, people dreamed of a national memorial to honor Black soldiers and sailors. That dream grew until he could see a museum that would rise like a phoenix on the Washington Wall. A museum to honor Black achievement, a museum to show Black resilience, strength, and pride. For decades, that dream was deferred, but in 2003, a national commission makes it come true. A museum will be created that documents Black history, life, and culture. Phil and architects around the world want to design it. Everybody wants to design that. Eating at a restaurant. Years later, the commission chooses Phil and architect Max Bond to create the preliminary master plan. For months, they worked together, making a guide to future spaces and exhibits. In 2008, an international competition is announced. The winning team will get to design and build the museum. For this project, Phil and Max need a dream team. They want to include someone whose work is known beyond the United States. Phil and Max meet with David Adjaye, an acclaimed British Ghanaian architect. And the men talk and they watch each other's body language. Can they unite? Three different people? The team clicks. That's good. Phil will be lead architect, coordinating all aspects of the complex project. David will be the lead designer, coming up with ideas in collaboration with the team. They have just 60 days to plan a dream passed down for generations. That's hard. It's a lot of work. Okay. They huddle around tables, talk on phones for hours, send countless emails, and they dig deep. Okay, this is a little tricky sometimes. Here we go. They look, they see a structural shape like a crown worn by African kings. They see ironwork patterns forged by Black artisans. They see a porch of welcome. And they listen. They hear the ocean rocking ships of stolen people. They hear footsteps marching for freedom and justice. They hear voices of unsung heroes waiting for their day. They're doing it for everyone who's been waiting. In front of the judges for the competition, Phil tells the story of the dream they want to build. He feels Pop, his father and mother, his family, all with him. His models stand proudly, his architectural models that he's showing to show what it will look like when it's done. His word pictures light up the room. Soon, Phil hears the word that makes his heart sing. Yes, he got it. Their next mission is to get the museum open before Barack Obama, the first Black president, leaves office. What an honor. 2016, a century after the dream was born, they deliver. Oh my gosh. In the contemplative court, Phil reads Dr. King's words, and this is in quotes, until justice runs down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. He closes his eyes and smells the moisture of the falling water. He listens to the peaceful sound. The museum rises near where his father once stood as Dr. King shared his dream. Phil thinks of Pop, who taught him to see like an artist, his parents who encouraged him to create and imagine. He thinks of how every experience led him to this moment. Phil Freeland, the kid artist from Philly, has become a builder of dreams. And then right here, is Dr. Martin Luther King little quote. We are determined to work and fight until justice runs down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. 1955. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful story with me. I love learning about artists and all different wonderful people. Happy Black History Month. Thank you for reading with me. Bye-bye.